not sure when or why America's Got Talent channel decided to team up with Samsung. I can't imagine it's a very profitable business. But basically, this channel runs 24 hours a day. I imagine it's going to be incredibly efficient. In terms of reality TV, these guys have been doing it for a very long time. I'm also expecting to see some military stuff, some Jesus stuff. Okay, so there is a large school group. Terry Crews is crying. It appears that what I've tuned into at 9 o'clock in the morning, Simon's favorite golden buzzers is what the name of this show is apparently. America's Got Talent is therefore assuming people are willing and able to like remember these moments. Like these are great moments. I've never heard of any of these people. Okay, we're looking at Cody Lee from 2019. Cody Lee appears to be blind. Yeah, this is kind of precisely what I was expecting. Very clear stakes. This person has a severe disability possibly, but their talent brings us together. But like there's no fat. There's no fat on these segments. Terry Crews cries a lot. So many cuts in this. Bang, 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 bang. Singing, reaction, people crying, singer, Simon Cowell. They're obviously well tuned into people's watching habits, right? They realize that people are going to be like double screening this or whatever, so they need to grab attention fast. This is made for social media. Like this is, I think it said it was in 2019 or something like that. I wonder if it went out like this on the broadcast. People standing ovation, crying, Terry Crews crying, obviously. I mean, Simon Cowell can't cry. He hasn't been able to cry in years, I'd say. Like his face is absolutely absurd. Oh, slow-mo. Wow. Terry Crews wears a lot of kind of pastels in this. Looks good. I don't know about the golden buzzer. I don't know if it's a new invention or whatever. They just cut away to like a little aside saying Cody Lee's thingy is one of the best moments in the history of the show. It got 500 million views apparently. And now Cody Lee stars in the Las Vegas live show. So there's two plugs for you. All of America's Got Talent social media and the live show in Vegas, which you can go see featuring Cody Lee and who cares? Simon alluded to something there which I think is interesting, and he was like, that moment was something special. Probably don't follow for storylines anymore. Like I remember back in the day watching Pop Idol, which I think was the first one with Simon Cowell. You'd follow along because you were invested in who these people were and their stories and their rivalry. Oh, we're at number 2. Shit. RC Lynn, 2017. There's a little girl with a sort of horrifying puppet. That appeared to be Heidi Klum. It's interesting as well that there's no jeopardy here, right? Because this is Simon's favorite golden buzzers. We know that they're going through. So who is this for? What is the point of the America's Got Talent channel? There was a shot there of Darcy Lynn on pre-cancelled Ellen, a real time capsule of this show. I wonder if by the end of this horrible day, I'll have a sense of like who is good and who is not, because that used to be part of the draw. Was like you would get a variety, mostly I'd say variety. You would get good and shit, or was that kind of performatively cruel? TV isn't like that anymore. The world might be, but TV isn't. This is Simon's number 1 moment. Oh, this lady passed away apparently. Interesting product placement for Sonic. This is sort of where I expect this show to like really shine. Is the absolutely perfect manipulation of people's emotions, right? So earlier I talked about how quickly they were cutting between shots, right? They're holding on certain shots a lot longer. They're giving her a lot more airtime and space. I mean, Terry's crying. Terry's a mess. They're desperately hoping that Simon Cowell cries. Sofia Vergara. Why? Couple of tears there from Simon. He asked for a couple of seconds. Good for him. The placement of the huge Sonic cups is absolutely iconic. Simon wears shorts a lot in this. Is he really hot in America? It's currently 9:30 and I'm already exhausted. Okay, so there's a group of Japanese young men. Howie Mandel is out today. Heidi Klum is there again for some reason. Sofia Vergara is there. So Simon's staking his claim pretty early. The audience are pretty happy. You'd have to think if they're flown all the way from Japan that they've got at least enough money behind them for them to do this. Oh, very nice. He just said the only place that this can happen for us is AGT, America's Got Talent. So, propaganda. He said that they're singers, dancers, acrobats. The crowd is very keen. Their Instagram handle is in the bottom right, so they're clearly somebody. Oh my God. I'm looking at this group of young Japanese men in their shiny sequined jackets and shirts and Beetlejuice trousers. It's all very nice. They're obviously very impressive and sort of athletic, and that guy just did a flip, for example. I can't imagine being in a world where that would be an impressive thing to see outside of like a free performance at a shopping center. An old man is leading somebody by a chain. Okay, he's an animal trainer. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. People are going fucking crazy. People are not enjoying this. People want blood. It's like the fucking Roman Colosseum. Fucking hell, people are furious. People are just as happy to bay for blood as they are to see something incredibly moving. And I imagine that probably hasn't changed in human history. Yeah, so a woman dressed as sort of Zooey Deschanel had some cockroaches. People didn't like her. It's just, there's no fat whatsoever. I just saw 4 or 5 people in like a 3-minute spell. Oh, there's $1 million at stake. I did not know that. If your favorite Colombian sitcom star, Sofia Vergara, starts crying, you should be crying. Oh God, it's boring. Simon talks about moments a lot. Him's getting old, trying to place importance on his life. Kiss, kiss, kiss. It's a teen a cappella group. Are they cool teenagers? Almost certainly not, but they are diverse. I'll give them that. Their backstory included their friend who died very suddenly. Probably made Terry Crews cry, so that's cool. Lots of cutaways to the dead child's parents, which is not at all manipulative, I suppose. Acapop kids. How do these children find each other? There's no way that this is an organic group of children coming together. They're far too good. Groups of children like this don't exist in the UK. This is very American. The kind of thing that you only experience with that sort of level of prosperity. Local councils don't have groups like that. Those children absolutely think they deserve 3 S's. I think it's a very interesting contrast to like how this show used to go. People would come on and they'd be delusional, right? People nowadays know that they are either going to go through on their undeniable talent or they're just sort of trolls. Like the bug lady or the parrot man had no intention. He just wanted to be an arsehole. 2 Brazilian men claimed to be psychic or soul brothers, I think is what they said. I sort of don't know how to describe this. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck? Was it? What is it? What talent? What is this? Unless talent is different in Brazil, Klaus is an extraordinarily strange looking man. Not that that pertains to anything, but he just really is. I'm starting to see the kind of dynamic here, right? Like Simon is kind of above all this stuff and he is just Simon Cowell. He's a character in and of himself. Heidi Klum brings very little as far as I can tell. But Sofia Vergara is like safe sort of sex symbol, I guess. I can't stress enough like how well-oiled this machine is as like a piece of television. It's now 10:30. There's much less Jesus in it than I thought. I wonder if that's a consequence though of something that I have learned, which is how tight this show is. And not just the Jesus stuff, to be fair, but like, you know, the tragic backstory and blah, 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 blah. I remember Simon Cowell being a lot meaner. Broadly speaking, do these people have talent? Some of them are good singers, quite athletic, I suppose. As a Colombian act, Sofia Vergara goes crazy. I assume that these people are going to go through just based on the fact that we have heard from them. Okay, she's very good. Oh. Whoa, holy shit. Okay, this is the first one that I've seen in like an hour and a half of watching where I'm like, oh fuck, that's actually impressive. Fucking hell, that woman moves so fast. It's like a cat. The guy is so handsome, it's crazy. It's noticeably longer holding on the act itself. All these fucking Midwestern white people being like, oh my God, how do they do that? How blown away the American audience is by like, not just their talent, but like the raw sexuality of the dancing is very, very funny to me. One thing we don't know is like where this is happening, in what time or space. So Alex previously auditioned the day before, but has come back. Okay. This is one of the worst things I think I've ever seen. Terry Crews is into it, Sofia Vergara's into it. The crowd is for some reason dancing. I feel like I'm going fucking crazy. I'm gonna mute that, that was terrible. This is exactly what I thought I was gonna be seeing a lot more of. Novelty acts, and I'm aware he's playing a violin with like one string to their bow. This man wears sort of brightly sequined things and plays a violin that lights up and sort of dances around. That's it. This is kind of the first also like openly gay person I've seen in like 90 minutes. Who is the audience of America's Got Talent? Midwest America, I guess, and the internet. People are going fucking bananas in the audience. They're going absolutely crazy. A couple of jacked Albanian brothers. Without meaning to sound disrespectful, like these lads are so Eastern European, it's great. Is this good? This is a sort of thing that I would expect only a couple of Albanian brothers in their 20s to be up to. Americans believe that Europeans are sort of very chic and elegant and whatever. Like, no, it's like acid wash jeans with holes in them and too tight and all that sort of thing. This is what Europeans are. I like these two brothers because unlike sort of Cirque du Soleil, where it's sort of planned to such a degree that it sort of looks unreal, like you can see that they're just like fucking gritting their teeth and bearing it. The jacked brother is the base and the light, smaller brother is the top. And that's a very practical response to how do I stand on my brother's head. All right, so I've been doing this for nearly 3 hours now. I kind of can't believe how long these episodes are. Like, we're still in an episode where Howie Mandel hasn't shown up. If this is the normal episode length, it's an extraordinary commitment that they're asking people to make. There was just a woman on who I actually think I've seen in the kind of halcyon days, pre-second Trump administration, when, you know, everybody was kind of on board with the whole Ukraine thing. A woman from Ukraine who was like an aerial artist. And that was a kind of first vaguely political thing that's come up in this show. Probably a sign of the time. Again, no idea where this is taking place, when it's taking place, who these people are, where in the season it is. I think that's an interesting point, right? Like, the America's Got Talent brand is so strong. You don't need to know. Simon Cowell must be so rich by now. Like, it's just extraordinary levels of wealth. Gosh, Simon Cowell is tiny as well. Wow. As part of my normal job, when I get to do it, I do some like mentoring work. And it is amazing how different Americans are in front of a camera compared to British people or people from around the world. They're so aware how to think and talk in soundbite. You okay? Where is this happening, Terry Crews? Why are people from Harlem and Korea and fucking Albania all in the same thing? All right, so we have a choir from Harlem. The choir stands. Well, this choir dances, so I think this is terrible. But I also feel like the reveal is about to be that the production thinks this as well. The mix is weird. The focus on who is like the star is really weird. And again, like, it's telling you what to think. There's a couple of cutaways of Simon looking confused. Again, I've not been right very often about this show, so I don't really understand the language of it yet, I don't think. I was somewhat correct. Oh, Amazing Grace. Now that's going to be a tearjerker, I think. The very large boy. People go fucking crazy for Amazing Grace. Yeah, I wonder if, you know, Simon got a word in the air. By the way, they've got Amazing Grace in their back pocket. Make them sing that. This show is still going. It's unbelievable. I don't mean the show as a whole. I mean, this episode is still going. I think there's some really interesting things to observe about what are the acceptable faces of certain subcultures. The only LGBTQ plus person who has appeared so far has been a very particular type within that subgroup. And also, like, black culture, like, so far, gospel type singing. And that last choir there, they had like a woman who called herself like Mama, and then they went outside and they were all dancing and they were celebrating a way that I imagine people who watch this show find palatable and expected from black entertainers. People seem to really like Howie Mandel. Oh, there's a whole group of Howie Mandel people in bald caps. Simon is doing his very best to look surprised. I don't know if his face can achieve that physically anymore. This is the kind of level of humor that I've come to expect from this show. Oh my God. It's kind of hypnotizing. The music on this show is bad. I honestly couldn't tell you whether they were good or bad. I have absolutely no idea. Sometimes Simon does this face where he kind of like, he's rolling his eyes like maybe he used to 25 years ago, but his face is so full of fucking whatever it's full of that he can't, and he kind of gets stuck in this weird... It's honestly bizarre. If I can find a picture or a video of it, I will put it up, because it is... And he does it a lot. I think they're setting up a female singer-songwriter now. I personally want to see more of the freaks. Like, give me freaks all day. There was a man dressed as a cow playing the xylophone or something. Give me that. This woman just appears to be normal. I'm sure she's got, you know, an otherworldly voice. Otherwise, her appearance in a normal jumper and jeans would be weird. So she has a speech impediment, which is interesting because it's a throwback, I suppose, to the very first one of these with Gareth Gates. Her dad's wearing a fedora. One thing that this show does, you know, relentlessly is it tells you how it wants you to feel. God, this is a drag. Like, it's just a singer-songwriter singing a song and it's fine. She has a speech impediment and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. But my God, the cutaways are just relentless. How many times do we have to look at fucking Howie Mandel's agape mouth? Everyone's crying. Oh God, I don't care. Don't care about any of these people. This is so boring. Like, I'm sure that there was a period of time where it was like, this is for people who, for whatever reason, can't get into the world. Like, Susan Boyle was like massive, right? And like, it's such an obvious vehicle for like her to have success, right? Because how she looked, and despite where she's from, she had this otherworldly talent and whatever. And great, that's surely what this is. But like, that girl, like, she has a speech impediment. Like, she can sing without the impediment. So she can just go and sing in a bar or in a open mic or whatever. Like, she's a singer-songwriter. What do they do? Oh, they're showing some fuck-ups in a quick montage. That's very good. There's a group of English men who work in an airport in flip-flops. It's kind of vaudeville. It's one of the few ones of this, like, nature that I've seen. I imagine in the room, it's shit. So he's spraying hot sauce in their eyes. Simon fucking loves it. Simon is into, torture? Yeah, Germans quite like slapstick. I'm not surprised Heidi's into it. Sofia Vergara, she's not into it at all. Which is very funny to me. A very handsome Korean man is now here. He wants the world to know him and remember his name. What every dictator in human history has ever said. Well, he does magic. There's going to be a bird there. Nope. It's a feather. Why is Howie Mandel so into magic? Is he a magician? No. This is shit. Reminds me of Tony Wonder, where he just scrumples shit up into his hand and like pulls it out his eye. Because everything so far has been a feather. Or related to a feather. People are going bananas. Standing ovations. What are we fucking talking about here? I feel like I've lost my mind. What are we What? Americans are very angry at Simon about this. I am in complete agreement with them. I don't know what... Do they just have a sympathetic... Do they just have a soft spot for this very handsome Korean man? I'm sort of interested to know what these people have done, right? Because like that's the premise of all these shows is that they go on to be stars and shit. Also, I just found out this is season 17 of this fucking show. There's a lot more original songs on this than I ever remember. I like them a lot. The crowd have become feral. Yeah, these girls are class. Give them, I don't know, what do they get? $1 million? Give them $1 million. Fuck it, why not? Oh, shit, standing O from everybody. Why wouldn't these people have been successful otherwise, apart from this show? Or is this show just now become part of the industry? So Simon just asked them, you know, why haven't you got a record deal? Because they're fucking stars. They absolutely are. And the lady said, you know, we've been trying to break down the door in Nashville, but country music doesn't look like us. 3 young black women. So, you know, credit to America's Got Talent, I guess. It's, you know, they've got a fucking platform. I have no idea what they went on to do, if they won or lost. Millions of people would have watched this. For some reason, I'm watching this in 2025. And I know them, and they sang a cool song about Jolene. The crowd is baying for a golden buzzer. Again, I don't know the language of this show, so... Terry Crews is going to jump in. Does Terry Crews get a golden buzzer? Okay, so the golden buzzer does mean something. That's awesome. So they go straight to the live show. Yeah, fucking A. They were great. God, I can't believe how tiny Simon Cowell is. It's like a small plastic bird. There's a woman dressed as an elf playing an ocarina, and it's been 5 hours, so... In this current political environment, a woman standing on a stage dressed as a fairy and saying that she's a fairy would not fly, would not be okay. Not for this audience, anyway. Simpler times. I've been watching America's Got Talent for 7 hours, which is too long. It's too long. The judges are like at their houses or something. I was doing some reading in the break. It's interesting, like it's just never been as popular as, like American Idol is the king of this sort of world. I saw a quote from one of the producers of, it was American Idol to be fair, but I think the point sort of stands across all of these channels. But this producer was talking, and this is like 15 years ago. He was like, there just aren't that many good singers. So, you know, we kind of have to start showing more freaks. Certainly for a while, it seemed that that was the formula, right? Like, I couldn't believe the amount of controversies and stuff that have come out of these shows. Apart from maybe 2 people I've seen in 7 hours. I just think, no, you don't have any talent. Like there's some, you know, like, yeah, cool, you're a fucking contortionist or an acrobat or whatever. They just showed a guy who swallows swords. Is that a talent? Sure. As like a street performer, I guess. They must have made so much fucking money off like texts and people sending in texts and data and all that sort of thing. And they rode those waves hard. And then they were kind of some of the first, as far as I remember, to sort of integrate social media into their broadcasts. There's a man showing his rippling muscles. I think I've seen that guy before. I think what I might do with this video is have a look at and maybe insert some old episodes of this show. There's this, I think it was an Adam Curtis thing. He was talking about how there's a definite sort of moment in time where people became aware of how they appeared on TV and in interviews, so they changed the way they spoke. And if you go back far enough in interviews with, you know, man on the street type vox pop stuff, people sound different. They behave differently in front of a camera. And I feel the same way with something like America's Got Talent, right? Like if you're willing to go to wherever this auditions are taking place, you're signing up for the whole brand, right? The whole experience. So when you get on stage and get in front of Simon and whatever host of people he has next to him, you better act a certain way. So everybody acts up and everybody kind of acts the same. And that's what kind of makes these people so hard to distinguish from each other. Like, I just can't remember. And again, like going back to that girl band, those black female country singers, like they were very out of type, and hence probably why I remember them, beside the fact that they were just genuinely quite good. I think unless you have sort of undeniable star quality level talent, you have to fit into these categories. And I think part of that is the responsibility of something like America's Got Talent. And included in that definition is you have to have a really neat backstory. We're brothers from Philadelphia whose passion for gymnastics came from our mother who died, who took us to gymnastics. One thing led to another thing, which is why you're here. It can't be like, I fucked around for 45 years as an artist and came to this incredibly ambiguous representation of how I see the world. America's Got Talent has no interest in that person. You might as well not exist. You swallow swords because your dead dad took you to see a sword swallower and he died the same day. That's how this show wants the world to work and separate people out. The rippling muscle man is there again. I've definitely fucking seen that guy. They had like a vote off between a man, the ripple muscle man, and a man who danced with an umbrella, and neither of them went through. The crowd become very disenfranchised. It's a much more bland show than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be much stranger. It doesn't say anything or want anything from any of these people or from you, really. Like, I was expecting it to be much more crass in terms of advertising and sponsored sections. There's pretty blatant advertising with like the Sonic cups on their desks. That's kind of it. I would thought there would be much more. I thought it'd be way more Jesus. I was expecting so much more Jesus stuff. But what I got instead was much more kind of idealized vision of the American dream, I guess, in a way, where there's very little friction between people. People enter into this space with their past firmly behind them. Like, this is very much seen as the point at which you put a full stop on your past, right? So like all of that pain and suffering that you may have gone through in order to get to this point, fuck that. Who cares? You're on America's Got Talent now and none of that matters. You are a performer. You go out and you fucking perform. And I think that's interesting and not what I expected. I expected to know much more about these people and their backstories. There's two people again being voted, one on, one off. One is a magician. One is apparently a boy singing with his mum, which is odd. Don't know who they are. Terry Crews is away and on to the next one. Terry Crews is a fucking trooper. He really has undying enthusiasm. Very handsome man. My little dog has got her bear. Want to see a bear? You don't want your bear? Oh, you bear. She's a good girl. I'm trying to think how to wrap this up because it's going to be 5 o'clock in a few minutes and I've done my due diligence. America's Got Talent, the TV channel. Top line thoughts. Why are the episodes so long? Whose idea was this? Is this making any money? Does that even matter? It really is so low effort, the actual channel itself. I remember being on a bus in Europe and being young, 11. There was a videotape being played by the bus driver. America's Funniest Home Videos from 1990. or something like that. That's so clearly who those videos are made for, is like bus drivers of Central Europe. And I feel the same way about this channel. I imagine this playing in doctors' offices, waiting rooms, any like liminal space. I was on a ferry recently. I can imagine this being the thing that is played on the ferry, and that's not great. This is the first time that I've seen a big act come on. I don't know who they are. They're a K-pop band, I think called Le Seraphim. I'm impressed by how well coordinated it is. They're kind of looking to different cameras and knowing where all the cameras are. I mean, if you're into K-pop, that's probably like the least impressive fucking thing going on. The fact they're singing in English is also pretty impressive. Dressed like people did in sort of 2001, so presumably Simon Cowell feels pretty comfortable, and though he's back in his pomp. I wonder how Mel B feels about this. It must be so weird to look at people who are basically you 30 years younger and like look around at the crowd going absolutely bananas and think about the life that they have ahead of them. On these various shows, they have Jennifer Lopez, Nicki Minaj, and all kinds of people, Katy Perry, but very few people have experienced the life, even at a pop star level, that Mel B has experienced. I don't know, does she talk up a lot on this? I have no idea, but like, you know, she should be mentoring these people and being like, by the way, there's some dark shit that you need to know about. Okay, it's now just gone past 5 o'clock. I can't keep doing this anymore. That's my 8 hours plus lunch. My God, what a waste of time. Some final thoughts. I wish that it was run like a proper kind of digital channel where it was just random episodes from throughout the history of America's Got Talent. I would like to see something from 2006, followed by something from 2024, followed by 2017. I just think it would be interesting. So a note for America's Got Talent, that enormous conglomerate. I think your episodes are way too long. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why is it 2 hours? I think Terry Crews is a saint. He's fucking running all over the place. He's got some great suits. It's super clear now that this has become like a fine art, this show. They've obviously done away with this week we're in Liverpool or this week we're in Michigan. It's just, we are America's Got Talent. You come to us. Maybe 15 to 20 seconds on like why you're here. That better be fucking tight or you're not getting on the broadcast. Talent? No. Outside of the platform that America's Got Talent has given them, do any of them have a career? And even the ones who like get through and do well, do they have careers? Apparently there's a Vegas show and they win $1 million, but I've seen very little evidence of that. It's clearly just, you know, a way for Simon Cowell to be a trillionaire or whatever he is now. Would I recommend the show to anyone I know? I don't think that I would. I think that you can see a lot of these performances on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and you're not missing out on anything. Watching the TV show is basically pointless. Would I recommend any of the acts that I've seen? I still think that country music band is the Black Family from Mississippi. So they were great. I would probably look at and find out what they're up to. Beyond that, absolutely not. There's not a single person here that I would want to go see, tell people to go see. Beyond sort of stopping by in a street performance setting and having a look for like 30 seconds, no. I think that's broadly speaking what America's Got Talent and shows like it have got to answer for, is the diminished value of the word talent. Because you're lumping in people who are good with just an unbelievable variety of unforgettable people. Like at least before, you know, there are some people who would cut through and make some kind of impact on the culture. They want to perform in Vegas, but like to who? Can I sum this up in a pithy way? Probably not. It's so much more bland than I was expecting. My God. And I compare that to people who cut through as artists and they tend not to be, right? They tend not to be bland or safe or whatever. But this show is saying you need to be as middle of the road and predictable as possible, because then you can be commodified and you can be put into these archetypes and you can be sold to the American public. America's Got Talent and shows like it are responsible for the diminishing of art and artists in the space of my lifetime. Because as I say, these people, no matter how bland I think they are, will have spent countless hours perfecting and working on their craft, and they get maybe a minute. What last in this show are the judges. It's the star power of Simon Cowell or Terry Crews or fucking Howie Mandel. Their personalities and their celebrity is what is important and what lasts. Art doesn't matter. That's what this show is telling you. Art doesn't matter. If you want to have a career as a performer, you better have a packageable narrative and be ready to give it up, switch on a dime. If anything, that is much more important than whatever performance or art you might think you're doing. It doesn't matter. None of this matters.